Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to show you behind the scenes of a conversation I had with a client, and the specific issue that this client was dealing with was, how do I plan for my business growth? Now, if you've been around as many small business owners as I have, which is thousands and thousands at this point, what you know is us small business owners, we tend to fly by the seat of our pants. And what that means is we are leaving our growth and our productivity and our predictability up to chance. And what I'm going to show you in this video is a system for being able to predictably plan out exactly what projects to work on in your business, exactly what things are going to have the most impact, and you're going to do it with data so that you know this is the thing that will move the needle the most, this is the thing that won't move the needle very much, so I'm not going to prioritize that, and how to actually assign accountability to your team so that they are helping you with these projects and it's not all left up to you. You're really going to like this one. Take some notes, get your spreadsheets out. Let's get ready to grow your business.
Do you think you could go over the OKR chart and kind of explain, like, what am I really looking at with that? I know I've listened to it and I've looked at what you've done, but like I still feel a little bit stuck there, like what I'm really after.
Okay.
So
yeah, let me
I don't know if that's appropriate for this call or not, or.
No, I think that's a great question. It might be the first time we've ever gotten that question.
Like, are we supposed to be doing, like if we're going to do venture partners, are we supposed to put that in there? Like what's the...
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be unique.
It's for all of that, right?
Right. So what is, so OKRs stands for objectives and key results. So as you're going through that training, that's, as in context, right? Deciding on what your objectives are and what results you're going to track to measure whether or not you're achieving the objectives, you want to start by really clarifying where you are at. So that's going to be things like doing your 4 core marketing functions analysis and saying, like, if you do that and you're like lead gen, lead conversion, fulfillment, and then retention, resell, upsell, those 4 functions. And it's like, man, one of these is way lower than the others, right? So if it's ranked 1 through 5 and you've got one that's a 2.1, but everything else is a 3 is pretty solid, right? Nothing like, it's gonna be very rare that you have perfect scores, right? There's always something that's not working perfectly. But like when it's like, I look at this and lead gen's a 3.9, that means you're getting pretty darn good lead flow and pretty solid quality. But then lead conversion is a 1.8. Mm-hmm. That means I really want to make sure my objectives are going to be focused around increasing conversion rates, right? Mm-hmm. So you need the context before you build the plan. So 4 core marketing functions analysis is imperative, and doing a SWOT analysis. So the SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal to your business, right? What is our strength? What are we weak at? Opportunities and threats are external. So it's like, man, we could be doing this, but we're not yet. Or this outside thing is really affecting us, or it could be affecting us soon. So those are 2 exercises to do to really sort of get clear, to just make sure you have context. And then your objectives are going to come from basically saying, okay, we have identified this is the area we need to focus on.
Okay.
You mentioned joint ventures, right? So it's like, okay, what I would think would be, what your objective might be diversify lead flow, to have 3 consistent, repeatable lead sources.
Okay.
So that might be the objective, and the objective is a little bit, it's not quite as like you want to be specific, but it's not going to be totally perfectly measurable, right? So that objective would be maybe get to 3 lead sources, and then your key results, you're going to break down, okay, what are the things we're going to do so that somebody can actually be accountable, right? So as I fill this out, right, the time frame is going to be Q2 of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And my objective is going to be have 3 systematic, repeatable lead gen sources. Okay, so that's the objective. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, now how can I make this measurable and make sure people are accountable for it?
Okay.
So then I'm going to say, okay, what are the key things I will know? And I can say, we absolutely have that, or we need to do better. So it's going to be aligned, right? That's going to pop up over here. So when I add something to the objectives, that means it's now going to pop up as an option in my key results. So this key result that I'm measuring is aligned to that objective.
Okay.
And what's the key result? How do I get to that objective? So what we could say is, we could break this down to reach out 3 times via phone and email to 30 local organizations. Right? And who's in charge of that? That's the owner is who's in charge of that. So Susie is going to be the one who's accountable for it. And what is the what are we actually counting? So what's the metric? So it's going to be 30, right? So 30 times we're going to do that. Right now we're at 0. 30 is the target, and we're currently at 0. Start value is 0, current value is 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way that might look different is, hey, maybe we already have 4, but maybe we've already done 4, but now we're at 6, and now you can see like we have a measure of some progress there, right?
Okay.
But then what you're going to go through is just like every Monday or whenever you have this meeting, just update. How many did you reach out to 3 times, Susie? Okay, great. Now we're at 10. Great job, Susie, right? Mm-hmm. And then if we get to the Monday meeting and it's, I didn't do anyone, no one last week. Well, then it's like, you're not doing your job.
Okay.
So it makes everyone very clear on what they're accountable for, right?
Okay, perfect.
And
then
go ahead.
And then I would have like a goal for conversion of sales and so forth.
Yeah.
Like, is that?
Yeah. And the key here is like, as a small business, unless you really have someone who's running your operations for you, you want to keep this simple. You want to have 1 or 2 objectives. Okay. And you want to be okay with, I know some things aren't going to be perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Some balls are going to get dropped, but based on my analysis, those things are solid enough. We're putting our focus on these 2 things. And for this next 3 months, we're all in on these 2 things. Susie's accountable for these ones, right? And you're going to put more, right? You're going to need more than 1 key result that you're measuring, right? For hitting the lead gen sources. It might be, book 10 meetings with local organizations, right?
Okay.
And then, 5 organizations doing the initial email blast to their members. Initial email blast to their members. Right. And so if Susie's accountable for all of those, she knows she needs to do all those things.
Okay.
Yep. And so there's when you really are strategic about this, what you realize is like, okay, if I want 3 systematic repeatable lead gen sources, there's actually a lot of things that have to get done. And that's a lot for Susie to be accountable for. Mm-hmm. That's one of the big reasons small business owners end up not getting anything done, is because they're kind of working on 20 things at a time. Mm-hmm. And then none of them actually get done. So, yeah. Does that all make sense? Any questions?
Yeah, no, I think that's helpful.
Yeah. And then you can have a little dashboard, right? You have your little weekly meeting. It's going to track like how much progress you're making, and change that to the current. Yeah, cool. So we're at 23%. And at this point in the quarter, we should be at 28%. So we know we're a little bit behind.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, great.
Cool. Is that helpful to anyone else? No? Complete waste of time?
No, it's good. Thanks, Rory.
No problem.
We should be on track to hit our goal too this month, so we're pumped. We got a couple weeks left.
Is that month 3?
This is technically month 3 with you guys, but 2 on ads.
Since ads have been launched, yeah. Sweet, man. Well, that's awesome. You guys have already had a lot of awesome growth. So, what's this month's goal?
We have 2 offices, so it was 40,000 each. So we have a little over a week left, week and 2 or 3 days, and we're closing in on, I think we need to collect 10 grand. So unless we just fall off the earth, we should be fine.
Right on, man. Good job. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that basically roughly double where you guys were?
Yeah, we typically were floating around 20, 23. I mean, we had unicorn months where, we'd hit 30, 35, but it's never been consistent,
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, normally those were just because, maybe we had a few extra new patients, maybe we cashed a big PI check or something, but this is almost all, just new patient flow.
Killer. Love it.
Yeah.
So we're approaching 80K total.
Right. Yep.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So then to 100.
Let's do it. Since nobody's asking questions, and we just went over that OKR idea, is there anyone that sees there, is anyone ever can raise their hand and say, I'm guilty of that, just kind of not setting what the priorities are, not having clarity around, hey, what are we actually going to work on? What are we actually going to focus on? Because anyone know, I see that as probably an issue I've had in the past. Yeah.
Definitely we have.
Yeah. It's huge.
A lot of wasted time during downtime, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of the, I don't know. I mean, it's like there's the old saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. And us small business owners are the worst at that because we're just hard charging. I'm going to do it my way. I can figure anything out. And you're able to figure it out enough to get the bills paid. But then when you get to a certain level of complexity with a certain number of employees and enough moving parts, right? You got 2 or 3 offers instead of just one. All of a sudden there is a shit ton of problems to solve, and it is very unclear what you need to work on and what you need to just put to the side for a month or 2. And so, yeah, it's huge. Also, just context, right? So, you know, if you guys have watched my business growth stages training, this is why we say everything is downstream of product market fit, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, you know, I actually like the one thing you should be working on in the beginning, the one thing you should be focused on is figuring out, what does my market actually want? How can I generate demand? And solving this problem where it's like, I know I'm going to have leads and I know I'm going to be able to convert them, right? Of course, everyone wants their conversion rate to be better. Of course, we want it to be perfect. But if I can get those metrics where I know I can generate enough demand that my business will grow, when you solve that problem, then you can actually start making real plans and working on the business. And you can actually start focusing on your team. And you can actually start showing your team, not for account, like, here's what you're accountable for, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's like, Susie, here's how you can get bonuses and you can get more responsibility and have more, you know, like, progress here, right? But you've got to solve that product market fit portion first, because that allows you to start working on the business.
Thanks for watching. If you found that helpful, click over here for another useful video, or click over here to subscribe to the channel and be notified every time we drop a new video.